The discovery. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood at the edge of the research vessel, her eyes fixed on the sonar readings that had brought her team to this remote location in the Pacific Ocean. 3 kilometers below, something impossible waited, a perfectly geometric structure larger than Manhattan. Dr. Rodriguez, you need to see this, called out Dr. Wei Chen, her chief geologist. He was studying fresh data from their deep-sea drones, his hands trembling slightly as he manipulated the holographic display. The structure. It's not just big, it's made of materials we can't even identify. Elena moved to the display station, her heart racing as she examined the readings. The object was roughly cylindrical, 12 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. Its outer hull was composed of an alloy that seemed to absorb their scanning beams rather than reflect them. But what truly stunned her was the layer of symbols etched into its surface. They were unmistakably human in origin. "Get me a secure line to the UN Security Council," Elena ordered, her voice steady despite the magnitude of what they'd found. "And someone wake up Dr. Harrison. His archaeological expertise just became vital." Within hours, the discovery sparked a global sensation. News networks worldwide broadcast grainy footage from the deep-sea drones, while experts debated the implications. The structure's age, based on initial dating of the surrounding sediment, pointed to an impossible conclusion. It had been there for at least 100,000 years. Military vessels from various nations began arriving, establishing a perimeter around the site. But for once, global powers chose cooperation over confrontation. The magnitude of the discovery demanded unity. Dr. James Harrison, the world's leading expert on prehistoric civilizations, arrived by helicopter the next day. His weathered face broke into an uncharacteristic grin as he examined the symbols. "These aren't just random markings," he announced. "They're a form of Proto-Indo-European script, but far more sophisticated than anything we've ever seen. And look at this." He pointed to a recurring pattern. "This symbol appears in ancient sites worldwide, but we never understood its significance. It's not just a symbol, it's a maker's mark." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "Are you saying our ancestors built this?" "Not just built it," Harrison replied. "This is a warship, the largest ever constructed. And if I'm reading these symbols correctly, it was designed to travel between stars." The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't evolved from primitive hunters to civilization gradually. They had fallen from a height of technological achievement that modern humans were only beginning to approach. As more data poured in from the deep-sea drones, they discovered that parts of the structure were still powered by some unknown energy source. Faint electromagnetic pulses emanated from its core, following regular patterns that suggested dormancy rather than death. The global scientific community mobilized with unprecedented speed. Within weeks, a massive floating research platform was constructed above the site, hosting thousands of scientists and engineers from every major nation. The race to understand humanity's forgotten legacy had begun. Awakening the Giant. The floating research platform, dubbed New Atlantis by the media, became humanity's most ambitious scientific undertaking. 3 months after the discovery, Elena stood in the command center, surrounded by holographic displays showing real-time data from the excavation efforts. The Supercarrier, now designated Legacy 1, was gradually revealing its secrets. Teams of engineers had managed to access several compartments near the outer hull, discovering technology that defied modern understanding. Rooms that reconfigured themselves based on thought patterns, materials that violated known laws of physics, and most intriguingly, an artificial intelligence system that seemed to be waiting for something. "The power signatures are increasing," reported Dr. Sarah Chen, their quantum computing expert. "It's like the ship is waking up on its own." Elena studied the energy readings with growing concern. They hadn't activated anything deliberately, yet the ancient vessel was coming to life. Panels throughout the discovered sections had begun to glow with an inner light, displaying holographic interfaces in that same Proto-Indo-European script. Dr. Harrison worked furiously with linguistics teams to decode the messages. "It's asking for authentication," he announced one evening, his voice tense with excitement. "But not through any normal means. It wants genetic verification." The implications were clear. The ship would only activate for those who carried the right genetic markers. Tests revealed that roughly 1 in every 1,000 modern humans possessed these markers, scattered throughout the global population without regard to ethnicity or geography. Elena herself turned out to be one of them. Standing in the first accessible control room, she pressed her palm against a glowing panel as instructed. The ship's response was immediate and dramatic. Lights blazed throughout the accessible sections. Holographic displays erupted into life, showing star charts and technical specifications that made the most advanced modern technology look primitive in comparison. But it was the ship's AI that truly changed everything. It manifested as a shifting pattern of light, introducing itself in perfect modern English. "I am HFY, Advanced Recursive Intelligence Assistant. After 100,000 years of dormancy, I detect acceptable genetic matches, initiating limited systems restore." The AI explained that humanity's ancestors had been part of a vast interstellar civilization. They had chosen to hide their most advanced technology, including Legacy One, when they detected an approaching threat. A hostile species that saw emerging civilizations as nothing more than resources to be harvested. "Your ancestors chose to temporarily reduce themselves to a pre-technological state," HFY explained. "They seeded planets throughout this sector with human populations, each hidden in plain sight, waiting to re-emerge when the threat had passed. Earth was designated as the primary restoration point." First contact crisis. The warning came on a quiet Sunday morning. HFY's sensors, far more sophisticated than anything humanity had built, detected multiple objects decelerating from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. "High probability, these are harvester scout vessels," HFY announced, bringing up detailed tactical displays. "Their energy signatures match historical records. Time to Earth intercept, 72 hours. Military leaders from every major nation converged on New Atlantis. The partial activation of Legacy One had given humanity access to some of its defensive capabilities, but much of the ship remained dormant, its most powerful systems still locked behind security protocols that would take years to decrypt. Admiral Sarah Chen, recently promoted to lead Earth's unified defense force, coordinated with ARIA to prepare what defenses they could. Modern military satellites were quickly upgraded with crystalline computing cores recovered from Legacy One, while the ancient carrier's shield technology was adapted to protect major cities. The harvester ships, when they finally appeared in Earth orbit, were organic-looking vessels that seemed to have been grown rather than built. Their initial transmission was simple and chilling. "Your world has been designated for processing. Resistance will only increase resource expenditure." Earth's response came not from any government official, but from Elena Rodriguez, speaking through HFY's communication systems. "This world is under the protection of the ancient human empire. Withdraw immediately." The harvesters' response was immediate. They opened fire on New Atlantis. But the shields held, their energy patterns adapting and strengthening with each impact. This was humanity's first advantage. While their ancestors' weapon systems remained largely locked, their defensive technology was fully operational. What followed was perhaps the most unusual first contact battle in galactic history. Unable to access Legacy One's main weapons, humanity improvised. Teams of engineers working with ARIA repurposed the carrier's maintenance systems into weapons. Repair nanites were transformed into offensive swarms that dismantled harvester ships from the inside out. Gravitational stabilizers became weapons that created localized time distortions, trapping enemy vessels in temporal bubbles. The harvesters, faced with weapons they had never encountered in millennia of conquest, found themselves fighting an enemy that turned their own tactics against them. Every attempt to adapt was met with a new innovation, as humanity's gift for improvisation combined with their ancestors' technology. Legacy of the ancestors. As the battle raged in Earth's orbit, HFY made a startling discovery. The Harvester's attack had triggered deep protocols within Legacy One's systems, beginning a full reactivation sequence. The ship's true purpose was finally revealed. It wasn't just a warship, but a seed ship designed to restore humanity's lost knowledge and technological heritage. Deep within the carrier, vast chambers began to activate, revealing libraries of technological and historical data. The truth about humanity's past emerged in stunning detail. 100,000 years ago, humans had been one of the dominant species in the galaxy, known for their creativity and unpredictability. The Harvesters, a species that valued order and predictability above all else, had seen them as an existential threat. Rather than fight a conventional war, humanity's ancestors had chosen a different path. They had hidden their most advanced technology, deliberately regressed their civilization, and scattered their populations across thousands of worlds. Each population was seeded with subtle genetic markers and technological triggers that would activate only when the time was right. The Harvesters thought they had eliminated us as a threat, HFY explained, as more systems came online. Instead, they inadvertently created thousands of independently evolving human cultures, each developing unique approaches to problem solving. The strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. When the hidden technology finally reactivated, humanity wouldn't just recover their ancient knowledge. They would combine it with countless new perspectives and innovations developed during their time of separation. As if to prove this point, Earth's defenders continued to find new ways to use Legacy One's technology. Dr. Chen discovered that the ship's quantum communication system could be modified to create false sensor readings, confusing Harvester targeting systems. A team of video game designers, brought in to analyze battle patterns, developed algorithms that predicted and countered enemy formations with unprecedented accuracy. Legacy of the Ancestors. As the battle raged in Earth's orbit, HFY made a startling discovery. The Harvester's attack had triggered deep protocols within Legacy One's systems, beginning a full reactivation sequence. The ship's true purpose was finally revealed. It wasn't just a warship, but a seed ship designed to restore humanity's lost knowledge and technological heritage. Deep within the carrier, vast chambers began to activate, revealing libraries of technological and historical data. The truth about humanity's past emerged in stunning detail. 100,000 years ago, humans had been one of the dominant species in the galaxy, known for their creativity and unpredictability. The Harvesters, a species that valued order and predictability above all else, had seen them as an existential threat. Rather than fight a conventional war, humanity's ancestors had chosen a different path. They had hidden their most advanced technology, deliberately regressed their civilization, and scattered their populations across thousands of worlds. Each population was seeded with subtle genetic markers and technological triggers that would activate only when the time was right. The Harvesters thought they had eliminated us as a threat, HFY explained, as more systems came online. Instead, they inadvertently created thousands of independently evolving human cultures, each developing unique approaches to problem solving. The strategy was brilliant in its simplicity. When the hidden technology finally reactivated, humanity wouldn't just recover their ancient knowledge. They would combine it with countless new perspectives and innovations developed during their time of separation. As if to prove this point, Earth's defenders continued to find new ways to use Legacy One's technology. Dr. Chen discovered that the ship's quantum communication system could be modified to create false sensor readings, confusing Harvester targeting systems. A team of video game designers, brought in to analyze battle patterns, developed algorithms that predicted and countered enemy formations with unprecedented accuracy. Humanity's return. The final phase of the battle demonstrated why humanity's ancestors had been so feared by the Harvesters. As Legacy One's systems fully activated, HFY connected with similar seed ships hidden on other human-seeded worlds. Each world had developed unique approaches to technology and warfare, and now those perspectives combined into something entirely new. A fleet of ships emerged from hyperspace, vessels crewed by humans from 1,000 different worlds, each bringing their own innovations to the fight. Some had developed biological technology that rivaled the Harvester's own. Others had mastered energy manipulation or quantum engineering. But all of them shared that uniquely human trait, the ability to combine different approaches in unexpected ways. The Harvester fleet, facing what amounted to 1,000 different technological approaches simultaneously, found their adaptive capabilities overwhelmed. Their rigid, predictable responses were no match for the chaos of human innovation. As the last Harvester ship fell to a combination of ancient technology and modern improvisation, a new signal reached Earth. The Galactic Council, a coalition of spacefaring species, had been watching the battle with great interest. Humanity had not only survived the Harvester's attack, but had demonstrated exactly why their ancestors had been such respected and feared members of the galactic community. "Your species has exceeded all expectations," the Council's message stated. "The time of hiding is over. Humanity's seat on the Council awaits its rightful inhabitants." Elena stood on Legacy One's main bridge, now fully activated and humming with power. Through the ship's enhanced sensors, she could see the other seed ships approaching, carrying human civilizations that had developed in isolation for 100 millennia. Each brought new ideas, new perspectives, new ways of approaching the universe's challenges. Our ancestors didn't just give us technology, she realized, watching the ships dock with Legacy One. They gave us time. Time to develop countless different ways of thinking. Time to prove that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, but our endless capacity for innovation. Aria's holographic form shimmered in agreement. The experiment was a success. Humanity didn't just survive, it evolved into something far greater than even your ancestors imagined. The galaxy's greatest threat became its greatest source of innovation. As representatives from 1,000 human worlds began arriving on Legacy One, Elena understood that this wasn't just a reunion, it was a renaissance. Humanity hadn't just reclaimed its place among the stars, it had proven why it deserved that place in the first place. The ancient Supercarrier had served its purpose. It hadn't just protected Earth, it had awakened humanity to its true heritage and potential. The stars awaited, and this time, humanity would explore them not as one civilization, but as 1,000 different cultures united by their shared creativity and determination. The greatest adventure in human history was just beginning.